Emmerdale spoilers for next week. Laurel unwittingly invites danger into her own home as she becomes increasingly attracted to Ray. His sweet gestures begin to mask more dangerous truths. And I can't shake the feeling that Laurel is opening the door to something even scarier than love. Ray tries her best to win Laurel over with a romantic picnic. Laurel is charmed by the subtlety and the two take their relationship one step further. But is she unwittingly putting herself and her family in danger? There's a tenderness between Laurel and Ray that makes this love story all the more unsettling. Laurel wants to believe in him, in his warmth, his sincerity, and his affection. But every time Ray softens for her, the darkness behind him grows longer. Ray has fallen for Laurel. But his journey in this village has never been peaceful. The audience first met him when he lured Dylan and April into the drug ring. At the time, he seemed to be running a criminal network, but the truth that emerged later was terrifying. Celia, cold, ruthless, and strategic, was the mastermind behind the entire empire. Ray was not just a bad guy. He was a loyal son, molded by a dangerous man. And their cruelty was not limited to the young. Bear, who was a simple and vulnerable person, was forced into labor with no way out. This detail made me shudder because it showed the terrible scale of the horror Laurel was getting herself into without even realizing it. Laurel didn't see that, of course. In her eyes, Ray was just a man who smiled gently, listened well, and blushed at a joke. The incident last week, when Nicola tried to find Ray online but failed, made Laurel feel uneasy. It was really strange that there was almost no information about Ray. Laurel feels it, but she doesn't have the courage to face the truth. Still, Laurel gives Ray another chance. Knowing she's skeptical, Ray tries to prove himself trustworthy. He prepares a cozy afternoon picnic, with tea, cake, and mismatched cups that make the scene feel more real and intimate. When Laurel arrives and sees all the care, her doubts begin to melt away. Her desire to be loved makes it easy to believe she's overreacting, that Nicola is overthinking things. But the audience knows better. It's that contrast that gives the scene its unforgettable weight. Laurel is immersed in happiness while danger quietly approaches. After the date, Laurel is on cloud nine. A public kiss makes her even more convinced that she was right to trust Ray. But Celia always puts her empire above everything else. And Ray's happiness is never on the priority list. Laurel's closeness to Ray is what puts her in Celia's crosshairs. What makes this story so gripping is that Laurel isn't naive. She knows something's wrong, but she wants to believe in the good so badly that she hopes it's all a misunderstanding. But with Ray's true allegiance still a mystery and Celia's ruthlessness growing, danger is closing in on Laurel's family. Shush has invited danger into her life. The question now is when she'll realize it, and will Arthur and Dottie be caught up in the tragedy when the truth comes out? Emmerdale spoilers for tonight. The police arrive unexpectedly. Kev's next plan and Sam's big mistake. The tension in the village tonight is palpable, and it seems like every secret is coming to light at once. From the warehouse car park to the Dingle kitchen table, the tension is so intense that everyone feels like something is about to explode. 1. The police storm the warehouse. Chaos breaks out as the police suddenly storm the warehouse, leaving Dylan and Billy completely stunned. The investigation into the drug ring is sudden and intense. Everyone's confusion speaks volumes. Jai insists that the police speak to Caleb, making the situation even more suspicious. Ray's reaction is the most telling. When he pulls Dylan aside and orders a halt to all operations, you can see he senses danger closing in from all sides. I can't help but wonder if the police informant is closer than Ray thinks. This is the kind of drama that Emmerdale does well, making you feel like Ray is calculating every possibility of betrayal. 2. Nicola investigates Ray. Ray's evening gets worse when Nicola becomes determined to find out about his past. While Laurel is on a date, Nicola's protective instincts lead her to start tracking Ray online. But what shocked her more was that there was almost no information about him. The silence was scarier than the evidence. Once Nicola sensed something was wrong, she would never give up. If she kept looking, she might find out the truth Laurel wasn't ready to face. 3. Kev's next plan. Kev now knew exactly what Aaron and Robert had done.